News next this weekend that Libyan government forces are close to a victory over Islamic State fighters in the coastal city of Sirte, which had become a stronghold for the group. Our correspondent William Whiteman's just come back from there. He says militants are leaving booby traps now as they retreat from the area. Allay discussed his experiences with him. Wow, what a trip that was. Dangerous to say the least. You had some really close calls and a really close escape. You're almost struck by that suicide car bomb, weren't you? Talk us through that.
We just arrived at the front line on the day of a big assault on Islamic State territory, a big push into their territory. And almost as soon as we'd arrived with the battalion that we were embedding with, Islamic State tried to drive a suicide car bomb into our position. We can have a look at the footage now. So yeah, I mean, in that instance, I was just actually holding the camera then, because we've been having some problems with one of the other cameras that the guys we were working with. And so I just happened to be filming those guys. In the background, you can hear over the radio a Libyan fighter screaming, "Dogma, dogma, dogma." Dogma is the word that the Libyans use for these car bombs. And you can see everyone started running. They're absolutely terrified of these kind of attacks.
These kind of weapons, they're basic, but they're deadly, aren't they? You've also had some other close calls. Take us through those.
Yeah, there was a number of them, but I mean, obviously the two main ones were obviously the suicide car bomb attack, and then also the one where we almost fell for an Islamic State booby trap, which had been very cleverly set up. We can have a look at that now.
It's exploded.
While driving through territory newly retaken from the terrorist group, we came across an unexploded mortar round in the road.
We're gonna put some stuff in the street because we didn't see that. Anyone could drive over that, so we're just gonna try and mark it out.
In doing so, we almost fell for an Islamic State bomb maker's trap.
Can we see this? Here?
Oh, Knowing that the advancing Libyans would want to mark the unexploded projectile out in the road, Islamic State rigged this nearby traffic cone with a bomb.
I mean, that one was very cleverly thought out, but I mean, anywhere that we went in the newly recaptured territory or whenever we were on the front line, you had to be incredibly careful. You had to constantly think the whole time to keep all your senses alert the whole time.
Got to keep your wits about you, haven't you? How long were you there for in total on this latest trip?
Well, we were there for over 2 weeks, compiling footage, you know, going to the front line every day. It was a long trip, yeah.
There's, I suppose, a lot more video that we haven't seen yet. Tell us about that.
Some of the video that we've got is just too graphic to show on TV. There were a lot of suicide attacks, so whenever someone got injured, generally they got blown into little pieces. So there's a lot that we just can't show because it's too disturbing for television. There were some other things that happened which, you know, we just couldn't really feature into a report, but it was just a really amazing experience. I mean, we went to one of Gaddafi's, his former Ouagadougou conference centre, which was taken over by ISIS and used as their main headquarters. It's a very, very grand complex. We can have a look at some of this footage here. You'll see why it's such a fascinating building.
So this is the Ouagadougou complex. It was originally built by Gaddafi to host conferences in. It's been taken over by ISIS and has just recently been reclaimed by the fighters here. We're going to go inside and check it out. So you can see here that this is the grand food hall in the complex, and actually the chandelier has fallen completely out of the ceiling and is smashed into the ground. So this is actually the tent that Gaddafi would have stayed in. You can see the frame of it is still here. Obviously it's not been in use for years.
Wow, what a thing to see. What a change of fortune for that place over the years.
Yeah, no, completely. And I mean, the thing is that now Islamic State, the latest information I have from my contacts there on the front line, Islamic State, they only control a quarter of a kilometre of territory. But it's going to be very difficult to retake because there's a large apartment block with 600 apartments in it, a lot of snipers, a lot of booby traps. It's going to be very difficult. But, you know, they're so close to completely defeating Islamic State in Syria.
Well, William, it's good to see you back safe and sound. I guess the next question is, I suppose you're planning on heading out there again some point soon, yeah?
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be ideal, to go and try and to be there for the victory. That would be the ultimate thing to do.
We'll keep track of his travels. Coming up here after the break, the cost of pollution and why we could all get cash back from MasterCard if a massive lawsuit has been proposed proves successful. That's on the menu in Boom Bust. If you're in Britain or Ireland, though, hi there, good afternoon to you. You've got Sputnik coming up, remembering the London Blitz and also getting to grips with the Apple pickle over Irish tax.